Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today is November 29th, and I would like to conduct a forward-facing analysis of the ongoing conflict taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia. I want to have a look at what we could see happen in the next few weeks, possibly few months. Now, with that being said, I think it's very, very important to note that Abiy Ahmed has fled the capital, Addis Ababa, also known as Finfinne. And again, the reason why he has departed the seat of power, the seat of the command structure of the state apparatus, is because that seat is threatened by both the Oromo Liberation Army and the forces of the Tigrayan Defense Forces as they proceed down the A2 highway and fighting gets closer and closer towards Addis Ababa. But again, what we want to look at is if in fact Abiy Ahmed stays in the Afar region. And then the question is, does he return at some point to Addis Ababa? And when I say return to Addis Ababa, I mean an actual return to his presidential palace, his prime minister's palace. Does that actually occur? Or is it a fabricated portrayal of him returning to Addis Ababa after the false narrative victories that took place in the Afar region? So that is ultimately the question. If he actually returns to Addis Ababa, it would mean that at least temporarily he feels the strategic situation has stabilized. The tactical situation within the vicinity of Addis Ababa is still somewhat safe, in which he is able to depart the capital city whenever he deems necessary. Again, he will probably leave and has probably fled the capital because for some reason he believes his ability to get out of the capital has been threatened, at least temporarily. So again, it was probably the best opportunity to go to the Afar region, be closer to his incredibly heavy supporter in Isaias Afwerki of the despotic state of Eritrea. But that is what we're going to be watching closely over the next several days and several weeks, is if indeed he returns to Addis Ababa. If he does not return to Addis Ababa, obviously that is very, very significant, and the end could be closer than many people believe it actually is. Now, if he returns to Addis Ababa, that changes the equation a bit. Does it change the ultimate outcome? Possibly, possibly not. Again, it just probably means that he personally feels that it is at least for the short term safe to be in Addis Ababa. And quite honestly, it's probably more comfortable for him to be in Addis Ababa as opposed to being camped out someplace in the Afar region. I imagine that the presidential accommodations are much nicer in Addis Ababa, also known as Finfinne, than they are in Samara. I would also wager to say that in all probability, the accommodations, the prime minister accommodations in Addis are probably nicer than that inside of Eritrea. So if he has the ability to stay in Addis Ababa, he is probably going to do it. But again, that is only if it is a safe environment for himself and his inner circle. But again, him fleeing Addis Ababa is very, very important. Again, he created this narrative that he was heading to this area to directly command the fighting. Again, that makes very little sense because the real outcome of the war right now is taking place near Debre Burhan, and he has since fled to the Afar region, which again is really a sideshow to this conflict. Ultimately, the end game is going to be near Debre Berhan as those forces continue down the A2 towards Addis Ababa, and then obviously the question is what is next for the Oromo Liberation Army? Are they going to feel that it is an opportune time to launch an operation towards the capital? If they feel that the Tigrayan Defense Forces are not too far behind, traveling along the A2 highway, could possibly provide additional support for those dead enders that are fighting in the capital of Addis Ababa. But again, it's very hard to say at this point in time. The facts on the ground cannot be disputed that he has indeed fled to the Afar region. And again, all probability that is for his immediate safety. And again, we'll be watching again if he's able to return and feels like he can return to the capital safely. So we will continue to monitor the situation. That is one area of keen interest as the reasons for him going to the Afar region obviously are different than the stated message from him and the Prosperity Party. We'll continue to monitor and report. Have a good day, everybody.